Okay, folks, welcome to Super J Business Hour. I'm going to give this another chance. We tried to do an earlier broadcast, but it didn't work too well. So we're going to give it a second shot here and try and stay focused on the topics that I'd like to discuss today, only because I seem to get lost and want to, I don't know, spread around. I could just say that I could probably do a video for 4 hours. There's so much news in each day that just is upsetting to see. But today we're going to try and cut to the chase and get some good information out there. If you like what you're seeing, like my video. If you don't like what you're saying, don't like it. And also, you can reach me at jbuzy515 at gmail.com. That's jbusy at 515 at gmail.com. Love to hear from anybody. Love to connect with people that feel the same way I do. The point is this, America. We're being taken by secrecy, and they are aware of what they're doing, and most Americans are so asleep that they have no idea what's going on. But let's get to the news. I've decided to try to focus on PA news, Pennsylvania news, because that's currently the state I'm residing in, and touch on world news here and there, but I want to get good at what I'm doing first. I'm fairly new, info warrior. Check out infowars.com, prisonplanettv.com, or check me out on YouTube. Be Super J Business. That's my channel, Super J Business. And let's get to the business, folks. All right. First on our list, we talked about a week or two ago. We talked about an E. coli virus. It was in the paper. It was on front page newspaper of the Lancaster New Era Intelligence Journal. Okay, now here we go, folks. Right here, E. coli blamed on sprouts. Now, we won't read the whole article. It basically blames a small organic farm in Germany for spreading a lot of E. coli. Well, funny to find out that that's not what happened at all. In fact, then they tried to blame it on Spain and several other ones, when in reality it's now found that it was a man-made E. coli, a super virus, and I know where it came from. It came from the government, but let's just say it didn't come from the government. It came from somebody who had high knowledge and a full access to a lab and, really high-tech stuff. And now they're playing the name game. But my problem would be that you put this article on the front page of the Lancaster paper, and it's already a fact that most Americans read what they see on the front page and don't investigate ever again. So I would beg to differ that 80% of the people that I would talk to who read the Lancaster paper or know any news that's going on would think that, E. coli is being spread by bean sprouts. Well, I decided to call the Lancaster Intelligencer and find out exactly what they're doing to fix this problem. Did they put a recant article in? Are they going to fix this and tell the Americans, and especially the local PA citizens, what really is going on? Well, I did call, and I spoke to an Elizabeth Patton, who was an editor there, and she went on to tell me that she had no control of that, and that was done by the Associated Press. In other words, the Lancaster newspaper takes world articles from the Associated Press and just kind of puts their stories in their newspaper. So I said, if they print a bunch of stuff that isn't true and never recant it, then you guys just let it be in there. And she went on to say, yes, that's exactly how it goes. However, she transferred me to another gentleman. Actually, no, she didn't. She gave me a gentleman's name who was supposed to be the top guy there, Ray Shaw, and told me to call at 3 o'clock. Well, I decided to call the phone number she gave me right away to see if there was a voicemail to leave a message. And I got a reporter by the name of Tim McKinley. And Tim McKinley went on to recognize the article I was talking about. And that was on the, let me just check real quick for you folks, Monday, June 6, 2011 edition of the Lancaster New Era paper. And he said, well, you know what, Joe? He said they did recant. They put it in the newspaper. It's on page 2 of Tuesday's paper, which would be Tuesday the 7th. Now, again, today's Wednesday the 8th, so this would have been yesterday's paper. Well, I was searching for about a half hour, 40 minutes, and couldn't find any article. Well, the funny part is the reason I couldn't find it is because it was in the paper, but it wasn't on the front page of that Tuesday edition paper. It was in the 4th section, not even the 1st section. They put it in the farthest section of the newspaper called lifestyle. Now, folks, lifestyle has nothing to do with politics, world news, or anything like that, but they've decided to throw it in there. And it's on the very last page. And then it does say, sprouts not source of E. coli, Germany says. Backtracking angers other countries. Yeah, because they keep telling lies and they keep trying to pinpoint. What happened here is very simple, folks. They blame E. coli on some of these, all these smaller farmers. They lose millions of dollars in sales, and the big, huge corporations then take over when they're the ones really usually spreading the diseases. Now, the funny part is if you read the article at first, you get a sense of pride that they're trying to retract the false statement and maybe locate what really is going on. So you get halfway through the article and they spin the story back to it maybe being brain sprouts. They don't say, but they give you so many examples of times that there were sicknesses that by the time you read the article, if you had no critical thinking, you would think that, hey, I better not eat bean sprouts. Listen, folks, it's a farce. It's a scam. I talked to the Lancaster New Era people, 3 different people today, and all of them pushed me off, told me that it wasn't their responsibility and they couldn't do it. If you work at the newspaper and you're a reporter, editor, anything at that place, I would think that it is your responsibility to make sure that the truth gets out. But these places are owned and operated by the same people doing the bad stuff in the world, so they make sure that that stuff doesn't get out. Okay, here's the funny part. While I was on the phone, I brought up to Elizabeth Patton and Tim McKinley, what about the Bilderberg meeting? Now, folks, please Google Bilderberg conference, Bilderberg, protest Bilderberg. You can Google that, and a lot of stuff will come up. Alex Jones, if you can't get infowars.com up at Prison Planet, look for the Alex Jones channel, or just type Alex Jones in the search box of YouTube, and tons of stuff will come up. Basically, what's happening here is that I asked about the Bilderberg Conference, and the Bilderberg Conference is right now, as we speak, being held in Switzerland. And it is basically the 200 most elite people, kings, queens, the Duchess of the Netherlands, Henry Kissinger, people from our own government, all meeting in secrecy to really come up with the year's, what's going to happen over the next year, gas prices, crashing the dollar, gas prices, how many more Amish farms to raid. What they do is they do these things and then they try to scare you into giving your freedom and your liberty up. It's all nonsense. Again, in my last video I told you have a better chance of being hurt in so many other ways than, the things they try to scare you by. And I asked, why would you have global media attention if the most top 200 important people in the world are all meeting in one place? And they went on to tell me that they don't have reporters in Switzerland. Well, it's funny because they can come up with all this other stuff and they contact the Associated Press for other world news. People, it's a media blackout. You barely will hear anything in America at all about this, even though so many of our government officials are going to these meetings. It's very highly illegal, it's pretty crazy, and it's very scary. Folks, please wake up, please do some homework, investigate, see what's going on in the real world. All right, before I get lost in the sauce, let me jump back to some of the articles that I want to touch on. Okay, so again, we had E. coli. It was in the front page of the paper. The very next day, they put it in the 4th section in the last page where no one would look and most Americans won't ever see it. So most people around here are thinking that there's E. coli in bean sprouts when there really isn't, and that it's to blame the organic farmers. Point the finger at the big agricultural companies. They're the ones doing it, folks. Okay. And we already discussed the Bilderberg problem and the fact that no one is addressing this. The major media outlets aren't touching it, and there's a reason, because these people own the major media outlets. Okay, so let's jump to a new article, and this is also from our favorite paper, the Lancaster New Era. Sorry, folks, this paper is the one we get at the house, so it's easier for me to dissect these ones. Which one did I see in here? Oh, let me tell you about this. This is great. This is Tuesday, June 7th, yesterday. City plans noise permits for one-time events. Okay, let me explain to you folks that what they're doing here is slowly taking away every freedom you have. So basically what they're saying is that after 10 p.m., if you were having a barbecue at your house and you had a little bit of loud music going on, before you wouldn't have to have a permit. And that's because that's common sense, and that's why we live in America, so we can have barbecues and play music. However, now, even if it's just a small barbecue anywhere after 10 p.m., you will need a permit, and you will pay for that permit, even though you're paying taxpayer dollars out of your checks on top of that, just to make these people more rich. And it's just a game. It's to slowly take away every freedom you have. They try the water, and most people are laying down and accepting it because they have no idea what's going on. Turn off Snooki, turn off the Jersey Shore, turn off the baseball game, find out what's going on around you before it's too late and your children and grandchildren have no world to live in, okay? It's really scary stuff, folks. Okay. What else do we got for you today? Very interesting stuff, folks. It's highly scary, highly scary. The last thing I want to touch on is something that I think I'll leave you with. And I think this is, this will show you, it kind of adds up everything that I've been talking about in my videos lately. Eat healthy. USDA Center serves nutrition guidelines on my plate. Okay. This is from USA Today on, and they have a 3-day paper. It goes from June, it's a weekend edition. It goes from June 3rd to the 5th. And on the front page it says, the food pyramid pushed aside for my plate. New government nutrition icon has 4 tables, folks. That's 4. Instead of the normal 5. And this is to help public focus on building good eating habits, okay? Well, I decided to read this article, okay? And what the article goes on to say is that the government is dishing up a healthy eating advice, okay? And it basically says that people aren't smart enough. It actually says, I'll quote, just so you don't think I'm making this up. Many nutritionists said the pyramid had become too complicated for people to understand easily. This is a quick, simple reminder for all of us to be more mindful of the foods that we're eating. First Lady Michelle Obama said, well, she's involved. Listen, folks, it's a pyramid. We've been learning this since the 30s. It's our nutrition. You have to have dairy. Oh, yeah, and by the way, it's only 4 things now. They took dairy out because dairy is no longer important. Actually, they probably did everybody a favor by taking dairy out, but since they boil our milk and destroy everything that was good in it. Remember when did you ever hear about the times when they used to deliver milk daily? That was because it was really good for you. Really, really good. Raw milk. If you can get a hold of raw milk in your local communities, drink it, get rid of that pasteurized stuff. There's feces in it. There's urine in it. You can look it up. People die from it every day. It's bleached. That's why you don't see the stuff. It's to shut down all the small farmers, the mom and pops, and to make this one big corporate robot world. The rich get richer, the poor get poorer, and people just can't make a living anymore. They're raiding Amish farms, folks, and it's all coming to a head. So now what they do, they took milk straight out of the equation. They say that's not even necessary for you. Focus on your food. And they've also taken the pyramid away and made it look like a plate because we eat off of plates, and we're so simple-minded, we can no longer break down a pyramid chart. You know, how easy do you want to make it for the kids? They need to learn about pyramid charts, and they need to get their stuff right. Folks, please look into this stuff. It's in USA Today for the June 3rd to the 5th edition. Let me see if they give you a website on their newspaper, so if you guys want to go look at it. I'm not seeing one right off the bat, so I don't want to hold everybody up, but it would be the Nation's newspaper, USA Today, and it's from, I guess the company that runs this is called Organic Company, and again, it's for the Newsline weekend, June 3rd to the 5th, 2011, okay? And it says, food pyramid pushed aside for my plate, okay? You can Google that, and I'm sure it'll come right up. It's just a shame that they took, you know, one of the nutritions out because milk and vitamin D and all that stuff is no longer good for you. It doesn't matter. They boil it. All the good stuff that was ever in milk, they boil it out. That's what homogenizing and pasteurizing is. Most scientists will tell you. As a matter of fact, Alex Jones had a really good thing up. Look up Alex Jones Amish raw milk. And he'll talk about stuff, and he went on to say that a lot of science, back in the day, 100 years ago, it was commonly known that if your child was sick or somebody was feeling sick, that you would give them a nice cold glass of raw milk because that would have all the nutrients and stuff to heal you, to make you feel better. Folks, I've been drinking it for about 2-3 weeks now, and I feel a lot better, and it tastes better, and it's creamier, and it's just good to know that it came from fresh, you know, family farm, that these people spent the time to, you know, make this milk good for you. They're just trying to scare us. They're taking all our rights. When they start raiding flea markets with 5 different branches of government, when they start raiding